Hey everybody, I'm Mike Kazimer. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at the brand new SRAM GX AXS Eagle wireless electronic drivetrain. Basically what that means is you can now get wireless shifting for a little bit less than you could before. The GX AXS derailleur, shifter, battery, and the charger goes for $600 US. Compare that to the $800 to $1,000 that you would have had to pay previously to purchase the XX1 or XO1 AXS offering. So a little bit cheaper, still not inexpensive, and it is still less expensive to go with the traditional cable and housing route. Start with the basics. You got the derailleur here. It's compatible with up to a 10 to 52 tooth cassette. So it works with that new wide range SRAM cassette. Has the overload clutch. Basically what that means is if you smack it into a rock, this cage moves that way, gets out of the way, should help save your derailleur, which is good because this goes for $370. So you don't want to be having it destroyed at the first impact. So it does work. I've hit it on rocks before, a couple of scratches on here, but you can hear a little zzz, and it moves out of the way, it moves back into place. So towards the back, that's where the battery lives. Just pops off, little guy. Goes for about $55 US. Probably not a bad idea to have an extra. The runtime is quite reasonable. Goes for at least 20 hours, which is a very long ride if you did that all at once. But most people maybe charge it once a week, once every couple of weeks. So, you don't have to do it all the time, but having a spare never hurts. So this just clips right in there. And there's also a new cover that sits over this to help make sure that it doesn't accidentally get knocked off, or maybe you've got a buddy that has a habit of trying to steal it and mess with you. Shift design is pretty much the same as you would have found on XO1 or XX1. So this little paddle shape here, matchmaker compatible of course. Push up moves one way, push down moves the other way. And you can customize the function using SRAM's app. So you can decide if you want pushing it up to shift it down the cassette, or if you want to shift it up the cassette, all easily customizable. And there's also the aftermarket, little different design you can purchase. Makes it look a little bit closer to a regular shifter thumb paddle. It goes for about $20. GX AXS communicates with this via a wireless network, SRAM's own wireless network, proprietary, so you don't have to worry about somebody's Bluetooth speaker somehow connecting to your derailleur and making it shift funny. Easy to set up and pair it with the button here, button there. You don't have to worry about cables and housing either. So once you get on the bike, it takes probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most to get it all going. That's kind of one of the nice features. You also don't need to worry about cable getting contaminated, muddy rides, wet rides. This is IP69 certified. So basically that means you can wash it, hose it down after a ride. Well, let's do some weighing. Let's just see how this all stacks up. Okay, so GX AXS derailleur and battery, 453 grams. And now we just have the shifter, that is 68 grams. Pull this guy up. This is the XO1 derailleur with battery. That's gonna weigh in at 389. So there's a decent amount of weight difference there. And the way that was achieved is the material that SRAM uses for the cages. This is aluminum cage, and this is a steel cage. So that's where you're getting that extra weight penalty. And that's really the main difference. All the other features are the same. So if you're trying to save weight and don't mind paying more, XO1 or XX1, those are gonna be the way to go. But if you can take a little weight penalty, GX AXS does everything exactly the same. All right, so we've got the weights of this compared to the XO1 AXS, but how does it compare to the GX traditional cable and housing option? Got that right here, 475 grams for all of that. So 475 grams for the traditional GX option versus 522. So, about a tenth of a pound. Not a huge difference, but there's a slight weight penalty going with this. Basically, if you want to save a little bit of money and have a little lighter weight, you can go the traditional GX option. But if you don't want to ever have to deal with gritty, contaminated cable and housing, and just kind of like the almost the novelty of wireless electronic shifting, that's there. You also have a super light action. Like I said, there's no cable that you're pulling. This is just instant shifting, super quick, effortless. So that's another benefit of this. I also think that overload clutch feature is kind of cool too. I wouldn't mind seeing it trickle down into a traditional derailleur, but the fact that you can smack the derailleur, gets out of the way, that's a nice benefit, especially if you're riding rocky terrain or things where you're constantly squeezing through little places that are trying to rip your derailleur off. The price of the GX AXS, the normal cable and housing version, is obviously less too. You're looking at around $170 for all of this versus, like I said, $600. So there's some weighing of the pros and cons there. But again, trickling down, we'll probably start seeing this on more complete bikes this year. So it's going to cost less to get wireless electronic shifting. What do you think? Is wireless electronic shifting in your future, or do you want to avoid dealing with charging any more things than you already need to? prefer to go with the old tried and true cable and housing route. Just let us know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for even more tech content from Pinkbike. Thanks for watching.